Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. Today will feature our last baseball test as we play season ticket baseball. Just like the other three we've played this week, it's another baseball simulator. So far testing's actually been going very well. I was happy with the way Inside Pitch and APA turned out as far as the test results go on Monday and Sunday respectively. I wasn't happy about Payoff Pitch being a Friday morning upload, but that's the inherent risk that I'm going to run into as I do more of these evening videos, where occasionally I'll end up uploading the video the next morning, but nothing I can really do about that. So, yeah, other than that, that admittedly is a very minor hiccup in the grand scheme of things. Otherwise, I'm very happy with how testing's been going so far. But I'm rambling on that at this point. So, we're going to find our time machine for tonight and travel back in time to 2002 for tonight's matchup. Let's go meet our teams via our starting pitchers. We are traveling back in time to July 30th, 2002 for tonight's matchup. Starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox tonight is Pedro Martinez, and he was pretty good from the looks of his stat line in 2002. 20-4 with a 2.26 ERA, 239 strikeouts, and only 40 walks for the entire season. So the Angels, as we can see, are going to have their hands full. But let's see who Anaheim is countering with tonight. Starting pitcher for the Anaheim Angels tonight is Ramon Ortiz. He was 15-9 in 2002 with 162 strikeouts and 68 walks in 2002. We'll also take our first look at Edison International Field, which is the home of the Anaheim Angels. Field type on grass. We'll roll for temperature when we move over to the main game area. So I think we're all set for that. Now, speaking of that, let's move over to the main game area. Once again, I'm using the board from What About Baseball, because I really liked how that board turned out with Payoff Pitch when we used it on Thursday for the first time. These cards are a little bit bigger than those cards. Actually, these are the biggest of the 4 baseball simulators that we've featured this week. So we're going to see how they work with this board. But we are going to give a roll for the weather. So we are using red, white, and white dice as the Angels are the home team. In July, the base temperature is 72 degrees, so we're going to add the result of this to the roll. Let's see, that's another 20 degrees. So it's going to be quite a scorcher tonight, as it's going to be 92 degrees tonight. I don't know what time of day this game took place during, but we're going to use it as a nighttime game. Let's do that. So 61, it's still 81 degrees tonight, which is still going to be quite the scorcher for a night game. But I think with that in mind, I think with the weather now sorted out, we're all set here. Everything looks good. So let's get down to the field for first pitch. While Ortiz makes his warm-up tosses, we're going to take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup first. We've got Johnny Damon in center field, Trot Nixon in right, Nomar Garcia-Parra at shortstop, Manny Ramirez is our designated hitter tonight, Jason Varitek's catching, Shea Hillenbrand's at third base, Brian Daubach's in left field, Tony Clark is at first base, and Ray Sanchez is at second base tonight. And of course, pitching, as I mentioned, for the Red Sox is going to be Pedro Martinez. And we saw the stats he had in 2002. I'm going to lay out these cards off camera so I have my lineup in order. All right. Ortiz is now finished with his warm-up tosses, so stepping into the batter's box for the first time will be Johnny Damon. He had a .286 average, 14 homers, and 63 RBI in 2002. So once again, we're using red, white, and red dice. So we're going to read the dice red, then white, then red. So let's walk through. We're going to walk through the first couple of batters nice and slow, so we can see how this game works. So we rolled a 430. The 4 tells us that it's going to come off of Damon's splits on his card. So we've dropped down to 430. That is a 3U against a righty, which means that's going to get grounded over to first base. Grabbing that, it'll be Fulmer. He'll take it over to the bag himself, and there'll be 1 out in the inning. Next up will be the right fielder, Trot Nixon. He had a .256 average with 24 homers and 94 RBI in 2002. Ortiz will set up, wait for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. All right, that's a 506, which the 5 would normally send us to a fielder card, but because of the white die is a 0 and we're reading that as 10s, we're actually going to have a rare play. So we need to go to the rare play chart, which is in the manual. We're going to find the situation there. So it's a 506, which means we'll have bases empty, so we will have a rare play, which means we'll have to re-roll all 3 dice and take the result. So that's going to be a 285, which means that's actually going to be a base hit to left field. If the white die tens digit is higher than the left fielder's fielding, so I'm reading on this chart, so that was a 258 or 285. So that's going to be a base hit to left field. If the white die is higher than the left fielder's fielding, the batter advances to second base on a fielding error by the left fielder and an E7. The left fielder for the Angels, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, is Garrett Anderson. His fielding rating is an 8. That white die is that white die was on higher than the fielding. So his fielding at left field is an 8. That's an 8, which means, was it equal to or higher or just higher? Higher. So that means Nixon's going to end up on first with a base hit. He won't end up at second. The batter now will be Nomar Garciaparra. He had a .310 average with 24 homers and 120 RBI in 2002. Infield will move to double play depth. I was a little bit confused the first time I played this game on if double play depth was a thing. So it turns out that when a runner's on base, the infield is automatically considered to go to double play depth. I did ask a question about that in the video, and the owner of Sports Mogul actually reached out in a comment and was like, yeah, they just moved to double play depth automatically. So that's how that works. I know double play depth is a big thing in inside pitch, which is part of why I'm trying to get used to saying it more and more, even if it's not necessarily an explicit thing. So I want to get used to saying it so I'm in practice for when I do more inside pitch on the channel. But that small ramble aside, Garciaparra looks in on Ortiz, who gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 105, so that'll be on Ortiz's card. A 105 is in red. That'll direct us to a 305, which will bring us back to Garciaparra's card, which means he'll strike out swinging at a curveball out of the zone. And that will be the second out of the inning, which will bring Manny Ramirez up to the plate. Infield will move back now that they no longer care about the double play. So Manny Ramirez is up next. .349 average, 33 homers, 107 RBI in 2002. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, hoping to duck any trouble from Nixon. At first, looks over at Nixon, gets the sign from Molina, Ortiz with the pitch. .315, so that'll come off of Ramirez's card. .315, he's going to strike out swinging at the heat this time, and that will retire the side. Nothing across for the Red Sox except the hit, except the one single. So it's the Red Sox nothing, and we're just about to take our first look at the Angels starting lineup today. Once I switch out the pitchers, I think this board's going to work just fine. So we'll take our first look at the Angels starting lineup tonight. We have David Eckstein at shortstop, Darren Erstad in center field, Tim Salmon is your designated hitter tonight, Garrett Anderson's in the left field, he came up earlier on a rare play, Brad Fulmer's at first base, Scott Spezio's at third, Orlando Palmeiro's in right field, Adam Kennedy's at second, and Jose Molina's catching. And charged with keeping that lineup under control is Pedro Martinez, as I mentioned. We'll line up the Angels here. Don't worry about the cards over here. That's for me to help keep the lineup straight. That's all that is. Alright, so now we've got that all sorted out. Our leadoff hitter, as Martinez finishes up his warm-up tosses, is David Eckstein. 293 average, 8 homers, 63 RBI in 2002. Martinez gets a sign from Veritek, and here comes the pitch. That's a 252. That'll be off of Pedro's card against a righty. 252. That'll be a strikeout as Eckstein looks at a changeup on the outside corner that catches enough of it for strike 3, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Next up will be the center fielder, Darren Erstad. 283 average, 10 homers, 73 RBI in 2002. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek. Here comes the windup and the pitch. 173 will come off of Martinez's card. That's going to be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that one will be Dahlbeck. He'll pull it in, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Next batter will be the DH, Tim Salmon. 286 average, 22 homers, 88 RBI in 2002. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. 279 is going to come off of Pedro's card once again. 279 against a righty. That's going to get lined to short. That's going to get lined to third base, where Hillenbrand will put his glove up almost in self-defense as the ball was coming right at him. But that will be a 1-2-3 inning for the Angels. Nothing happening there, and after one, it's scoreless. Before we transition into the top of the second, I will mention that I think the only place we haven't gone yet is the stadium card, and that will happen when the D6 is a 6. So, now we're all set for the top of the second, as the middle of Boston's order is due up next. I got curious as Ortiz was doing his warm-up tosses. I decided to look up a little history and see what happened in this game historically. The Red Sox historically won this game 6-0. So we'll see what Season Ticket has to say about this one. Ortiz is now finished with his warm-up tosses, as stepping into the batter's box for the first time is Jason Veritek. 266 average, 10 homers, and 61 RBI in 2002. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here comes the pitch. That's a 131, which will be a 331 coming off of Veritek's card. Veritek's going to look at a slider that catches the inside corner for strike 3. And that will already be the third strikeout for Ortiz on the day. As the next batter is Shea Hillenbrand. He had the 293 average, 18 homers, 83 RBI in 2002. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here's the windup and the pitch. Pull that through. That's a 624, so this is the first time we're going to the stadium. So we go to Edison International Field on a 624. That's going to get skied to second base. Getting under that one will be Kennedy. He'll pull it in, and that'll be the second out of the inning. As the batter now is Brian Dahlbeck. 266 average, 20 homers, 78 RBI in 2002. Ortiz looks in at Molina for the sign, and here's the pitch. That's a 335, which will come off of Dahlbeck's card. 335. He's going to swing at the high heat, and that will be a 1-2-3 inning for the Angels, or for the Red Sox. Nothing happening there. Ortiz already at 4 strikeouts on the day. Bottom of the second coming up, and we've got the left fielder, Garrett Anderson, stepping into the batter's box next. 306 average, 29 homers, 123 RBI in 2002 as I drop all of my dice. Martinez gets a sign from Veritek, goes into the windup and the pitch. Pull that through. 142 comes off of Pedro's card. Garrett Anderson. Anderson will go chasing a changeup for Martinez's second strikeout on the day. Next up will be the I believe the first baseman, right? Yes, Brad Fulmer. 289 average, 19 homers, 59 RBI in 2002. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. 398. Fulmer hits one high, hits one deep to left field, and watching that go over the wall is going to be Brian Daubach. Boom! Home run, Brad Fulmer. And Brad Fulmer will trot around the bases as Edison International Field explodes into cheers. Yay, yay, yay! He'll trot around the bases, and just like that, it is 1-0 Angels. Stepping into the batter's box now is Scott Spiezio. 12 homers, 82 RBI in 2002. Martinez waits for the sign from Veritek, trying to settle down, and here's the pitch. That's a 608. That'll bring us back to Edison International Field. 608, Martinez is going to come right back and blow the heat by Spiezio for the second out of the inning. Next up will be the right fielder, Orlando Palmeiro. 300 average, no homers, 31 RBI in 2002. Martinez gets the sign, and here's the pitch. That's a 405, which will come off of Palmeiro's card. 405 against a righty. He's going to work a walk out of that one. So Palmeiro will trot to first on ball 4, on a ball that was in the dirt that Palmeiro was able to lay off. Veritek will go out and tell Martinez to settle down, as into the batter's box will step Adam Kennedy. 312 average, 7 homers, 52 RBI back in 2002. Martinez will get the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. 241. 241 against a lefty. That'll be a swing and a miss at a curveball out of the zone. So Martinez will get out of the inning, having given up a solo run and avoiding a 2-out walk. After 2, 1-0 Anaheim. Make sure we've got the lineup straight here. And we'll get into the top of the third with the bottom of Boston's order due up next, and me looking to pick up the pace a little bit. Ortiz finishes up his warm-up tosses, as coming into bat will be Tony Clark for the Red Sox. 207 average, 3 homers, 29 RBI in 2002. Ortiz suddenly with a 1-0 lead that he's working with. He'll get the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 532, which is actually going to be going to the fielder card, so we'll be going to first base for Daubach. 532, that's going to be grounded right at him. He'll actually, not Daubach, wrong team. Who's at third today? I think it's Spiezio who's at third. Yes, Scott Spiezio. Let's see, a 532. That's going to be grounded right at him. So he'll grab that, he'll take that to the bag himself, and there'll be 1 out in the inning. There are some results that come up that are just impossible based on the game situation, so you have to modify them to fit the situation. Next up is the second baseman, Ray Sanchez. 286 average, 1 homer, 38 RBI in 2002. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina. Here's the pitch. That's a 616, which brings us back to the Edison International Field. 616. That's going to be a called strike 3 as the splitter just catches the bottom of the zone. Sanchez can't believe it, but he's walking back to the dugout. As next up will be Johnny Damon. He's 0 for 1. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here comes the pitch. 277. That'll be against a lefty. 277. Uh-oh. That one's hit deep to right field. So we have to come back to Edison International Field. Damon's a power of a 6. So we're going to add that to a 2D10 roll, and we're hit deep to right field. So 6 plus 3 is a 9, which means that's going to be a really long single. So it's going to drop in front of. It's going to drop in front of Palmeiro, I believe. Yep, it's going to drop in front of Palmeiro, and Damon's going to end up with a 2-out single. Next up is Trot Nixon. He's 1 for 1. He had the first Boston hit of the day. Ortiz looks over at Damon at first base. He's not a threat to do anything on the base paths. Nixon will get the sign from... Actually, could he be a threat to do something on the bases? With a speed of 9, maybe. But probably not this early in the game. I've got to double check how... No, I think we're going to just leave Damon right there. So Nixon will get the... We'll wait for the offering from Ortiz, and here's the windup and the pitch. That's a 306. That'll come off of Nixon's card. He's going to go chasing a bad splitter out of the zone. And that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Red Sox. And it remains 1-0 Anaheim. Coming in to lead off the bottom of the second for the... Bottom of the third, I should say, for the Angels is Jose Molina. 271 average, no homers, 5 RBI in 2002. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. That's a 377. 377, that's going to be grounded to third. Getting over to that is going to be Hillenbrand. He'll move it over to Clark at first, and that will be the first out of the inning. Next up will be the shortstop, Eckstein. Eckstein's 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, and here comes the pitch. 373 is going to be grounded to short. Garciaparra will grab that one. He'll flip it over to Clark at first for the second out of the inning. Next up will be the center fielder, Darren Erstad. Erstad is 0 for 1. Martinez, hoping to get out of the inning with no trouble, gets the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. That's a 544, so now we're going to the third baseman. Now we're going to Hillenbrand. 540, actually, no. 544 would be the second baseman, so we're actually going to... Who is the second baseman for Boston? It is Sanchez. So a 544... That's going to be grounded to Sanchez. He'll pick it up, throw it over to Clark at first, and that will be a 1-2-3 inning for the Red Sox as they get out of the inning with no problems. Nothing across there. Score after 3 remains 1-0 Anaheim. As we'll get ready for the top of the fourth, and the heart of Boston's order due up next. Ortiz will finish up his warm-up tosses, and stepping into the batter's box now will be the shortstop, Nomar Garciaparra. He's 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. Ortiz will get the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 362 off of Garciaparra's card. That's going to get grounded to second. Getting over to that is going to be Sanchez. Actually, not Sanchez. I think that was a 4-3. Yes. 4-3. Getting over to that is going to be Kennedy. He'll move it over to Fulmer at first, and that'll be a nice, easy put-out. Stepping into the batter's box next is Manny Ramirez. He's 0 for 1, also with a strikeout. Ortiz will get the sign from Molina, and here comes the windup and the pitch. That's a 676, which will bring us back to Edison International Field. 676. Ramirez is going to bloop one into left field, and he'll reach with a base hit. It'll just drop in front of Anderson. Runner on first as the batter now is Varitek. Varitek's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Infield will move to double play depth. Ortiz looks over at Ramirez, who's not doing much to speak of on the bases. Ortiz will get the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 649, which brings us right back to Edison International Field once again. 649. That's going to be grounded to third. Getting to that will be Spezio. He'll move it over to. He'll throw it over to Kennedy at second base. He'll take the sure out on the fielder's choice. So Ramirez thrown out. Varitek will reach on the fielder's choice. 2 outs, and the batter now is Shea Hillenbrand. Hillenbrand is 0 for 1. He flew out back in the second. Ortiz hoping to duck a bloop single by Ramirez. Gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 548, which will be bringing us over to the second baseman card for the Angels. Second baseman's Adam Kennedy. So 548. 548 is going to be a base hit. What does the right fielder in parentheses mean? I believe that means runners advance 1 base. So Varitek will end up at second. Hillenbrand will end up at first. Red Sox have something going on with 2 outs, as the batter now is Brian Daubach. Daubach's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Ortiz looks over at Varitek and Hillenbrand at second. It looks over at Varitek and Hillenbrand on the base paths. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 577, which will bring us to 7 is the left fielder, so that's going to be Garrett Anderson. 7. That's going to be hit on the screws, as Daubach's going to get a hold of that one, and that's going to be a double. So that's going to be a double. All runners score. So Varitek and Hillenbrand will both come in to score. Daubach will end up at second with a 2 RBI double. And just like that, the Red Sox have taken a 2-1 lead. Stadium groans. Ugh. Batter now is Tony Clark. Clark is 0 for 1. He grounded out in the back in the second. 2-1 Red Sox all of a sudden. Ortiz looking over at Daubach at first. Red Sox want more. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 588. The 8 will bring us to the center fielder's card. The center fielder today is Erstad on a 588. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to be a base hit. It'll drop it in front of the center fielder. Daubach's going to come in to score. Clark will end up at first. It's now 3-1 Red Sox. Stadium, once again, groans. Ugh. And the batter now is Sanchez. Sanchez is 0 for 1. Ortiz suddenly starting to look shaky here in the top of the fourth, as it's now 3-1 Red Sox all of a sudden. Ortiz looks over at Clark, and here's the pitch. 175. 175, that's going to be a walk. Sanchez will reach with a 2-out walk, as the Red Sox are starting to do damage, and they're threatening now. They're trying to give Pedro Martinez a little cushion, as the batter now is Damon. Damon's 1 for 2. He had a single back in the third. Red Sox lead 3-1, and they're threatening for more. This was how the situation started for the Red Sox. All this happening with 2 out. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. 584, so that brings us right back to the center, right back to Erstad's card. 584 is going to be a fly ball to center field. Erstad will get under that. He'll make it a little bit on the run, but that will retire the side. 4 hits, a walk, and 3 runs. And just like that, the Red Sox have a 3-1 lead as we head into the bottom of the fourth. Pedro Martinez goes back out to the mound, finishes up his warm-up tosses with Veritek. As the designated hitter, Tim Salmon steps into the batter's box. He's 0 for 1. Martinez will get the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. 379 off of Salmon's card. That's going to get flown to first base, slightly foul. Clark will have plenty of room though, and he'll haul that in and make the catch for 1 out. The batter now will be Garrett Anderson. Anderson is 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, the windup, and the pitch. 690. Uh-oh. 690, we have to add 5 of the home team's batting, so that's a 695, which is actually a curse for the Angels here because a double, that takes away a double, and that's going to turn into a walk. So Anderson will reach with a 1-out walk. As the batter now is Fulmer. He hit the solo homer back in the first. That so far is the Angels' only scoring. Infield will play at double play depth. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. That's a 534. 3 brings us to the first baseman's card. That is going to be Tony Clark. Yep. So a 534. That's going to be grounded right to Clark. He'll take it to the bag himself for the sacrifice hit as Anderson moves to second. As there are 2 outs in the inning. So Anderson moves to second. Fulmer's out. Batter now is Scott Spiezio. Spiezio is 0 for 1. Martinez hoping to get out of this inning without any trouble. He'll get the sign from Veritek, settle in on the stretch, and here's the pitch. That's a 175. That's going to be a fly ball to third base. Getting under that slightly foul is Hillenbrand. He'll make the catch and retire the side. Nothing across except the walk for the Angels, and the score will remain 3-1 Red Sox. We'll get ready for the top of the 5th now, with the 2-3-4 of Boston's order due up next. Ortiz will finish up his warm-up tosses, as the batter now is going to be Trot Nixon. Nixon is 1 for 2. He has a single and a strikeout so far in the game. Ortiz will get the sign from Molina, and here comes the pitch. That's a 124, which will be a 324. Nixon will go after a fastball that's just down the inside corner, and there will be 1 away just like that. Oop. There we go. You want to cooperate with me for a second. As the batter now is Garciaparra. Garciaparra is 0 for 2. Ortiz sets up, gets the sign from Molina. Here he goes into his windup, and here's the pitch. Pull that through. That's a 436, which will come off of Garciaparra's card. Against a righty, 436 is going to be a ground ball to short. Getting to that easily will be Eckstein. He'll flip it over to Fulmer at first. And there's 2 outs in the inning just like that. Batter now is Ramirez. Ramirez is 0 for 2 with a single. Ortiz gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. 115 is going to be a 315, and Ramirez will try to do too much with the curveball that just caught the outside corner, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox in the top of the 5th. Score remains 3-1. Bottom of the 5th now, as the bottom of Anaheim's orders due up. Orlando Palmeiro is up first. He reached on a walk back in the second. Martinez looks in at Veritek for the sign, and here comes the pitch. That's a 221, which will come off of Pedro's card. 221 against a lefty. That's going to be a swing and a miss at that changeup. Palmeiro will strike out. That will be the 5th strikeout for Martinez today. One away as Adam Kennedy will step into the batter's box. Kennedy's also 0 for 1. Martinez gets the sign from Veritek, suddenly feeling more relaxed with a 3-1 lead, and here's the pitch. That's a 409, which will come off of Kennedy's card against a righty. That's going to get skied to center field. Getting under that one will be Damon. He'll make the catch for out number 2. Next up for the Angels will be Jose Molina. Molina's 0 for 1. Martinez looks in at Veritek for the sign, and here's the pitch. That's a 209, which will come off of, which he's a righty. That's going to get grounded to short. Garciaparra will get that. He'll throw it over to Clark at first. And the reward for the Red Sox is a nice quick 1-2-3 inning. And after 5, it remains 3-1 Red Sox. Top of the 6th coming up, and we'll see the middle of Boston's order due up next. Before we go into Boston's next at-bat, I should mention here that each of our pitchers has a stamina rating. That's the number of innings they can go before they're subject to fatigue. Once they pass that threshold, each base runner that they allow will increase their fatigue rating by 1. So you're going to start seeing a D20 pop into the shot for each pitcher when they allow a base runner. So I'll use my discretion on that. I just wanted to explain why the D20 is going to start showing up here pretty soon. So the first batter for the Red Sox will be Veritek in this inning. Veritek is 0 for 2. Ortiz will get the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 218, which will be a split result. So a 218 against a switch left. That's going to get grounded to short. Getting over to that is Eckstein. He'll throw it over to Fulmer at first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Next up will be the third baseman, Hillenbrand. Hillenbrand is 1 for 2 with a single back in the 4th. Ortiz waits for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. 604, which will bring us to the stadium card. 604 is going to get grounded to second. Getting after that will be Sanchez. He'll throw it over to Fulmer at first, and that'll be the second out of the inning. That'll be the second out of the inning, just like that. Coming up next is Dahlback. Dahlback is 1 for 2. He had a double back in the 4th. 3-1 Red Sox. Ortiz looks at Molina at the sign, winds up, and here's the pitch. 502. 5 would send us to a fielder card, except the 0 says we're going to have a rare play. So we're going to roll for that. Let me find my rare play chart on here. Here we are. So we'll re-roll and get the rare play. Let's see, that's going to be a 329. 329. That's going to be a strikeout, and Dahlback's ejected, so we need a new first baseman. That will be a 1-2-3 inning, and we actually need a new left fielder. So Dahlback's going to get thrown out. We need a new left fielder. Let's see if we have another left fielder or somebody we can use in left field. We do. Coming in to play left field for the Red Sox, once I note him in the lineup, is going to be Ricky Henderson. We'll meet him when he comes up to bat later on in the game. So 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the top of the 6th. Score remains 3-1 Boston. Martinez will finish his warm-up tosses and look at the top of the Anaheim order. First batter will be David Eckstein. Eckstein is 0 for 2. Martinez will look in at Veritek for the sign, and here comes the pitch. 599 will send us to the right fielder. Will send us to Nixon's card. 599 is going to be a base hit right in front of Nixon. So Eckstein will reach with a leadoff single. I believe the plus means runners advance 2 bases. Let me double check that. Yep, all runners advance 2 bases. That's a long single. All right, so now that we've got that figured out, that's the first base runner Martinez is allowed. So he's now got a fatigue level of 1. As the batter now will be Darren Erstad. Erstad is 0 for 2. Infield will play at double play depth. Martinez waits for the sign from Varitek, and here's the pitch. That's going to be a 101, which will translate to a 301, and Erstad will go after a changeup for the first out of the inning. As the batter now will be Salmon. Salmon is 0 for 2. Martinez looks in at Varitek for the sign, and here's the pitch. That's a 118. 118. The changeup will still be working as Salmon will go after it, and he'll strike out as well. That will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th strikeout of the day for Martinez. 2 out in the inning as Anderson now comes up to the plate, the left fielder. Anderson is 0 for 1 with a walk. Martinez looks in at Varitek for the sign, and here's the pitch. Pulling that through is going to be a 631, which we're going to add 15 to that because Martinez is at a fatigue level of 1 and 5 because the home team's batting. So a 631 becomes a 646. That's going to be grounded to second. Getting to that will be Sanchez. He'll take it to the bag himself and retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Angels. And after 6, the score will remain 3-1 Boston. We'll get ready for the top of the 7th with the bottom of Boston's order due up next. Ortiz finishes up his warm-up tosses as stepping into the batter's box is Tony Clark. Clark is 1 for 2 with a single. Ortiz looks in at Molina for the sign, and here's the pitch. That's a 356. 356 is coming off of Clark's card. 356, that's going to get skied to center field. Getting under that will be Erstad. He'll make the catch for 1 out in the inning. Next batter will be Sanchez. Sanchez is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk today. Ortiz looks in at Molina for the sign, and here's the pitch. 261 against a righty. 261. That ball's hit deep to left field. He's not fatigued, fortunately. Sanchez has got no power, though, so he's got to try to muscle this one out. That's it deep to left field. Let's see what happens on the 2D6 or the 2D10 roll. Let's see, 6 plus 1 is 7. That's going to be a base hit to left field. It'll drop in front of Anderson for a base hit. Next batter will be Damon. Damon is 1 for 3. Infield will play at double play depth. Ortiz looks over at Sanchez for the sign, who's not a threat. And here's the pitch. 206. Against the lefty is going to be a 406. Damon's going to work a walk out of that one. That'll be ball 4. Ortiz can't believe he didn't get the call there. As now we've got first and second with 1 out, and Trot Nixon due up in the batter's box. Nixon is 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts. Ortiz suddenly starting to sweat a little bit here. He'll get the sign from Molina, and here comes the pitch. 410. It's going to come off of Nixon's card against the righty. That's going to load the bases, so actually Ortiz should be at a fatigue rating of 3 now. We'll start getting some activity in the Anaheim bullpen. As who are they going to bring in to pitch? They're going to bring... Let's see. Boston has righty-righty switch coming up. They have a lefty in relief. They do. Scott Schoenweis is going to start getting loose in the Anaheim bullpen. I'll make a note of him. So Schoenweis is going to start getting loose in Anaheim's bullpen. as the batter now will be Garciaparra, as he comes in with the bases full of Red Sox. Garciaparra, though, is 410. It's coming off of Nixon's card. That was another walk. Okay. Ortiz starting to lose a little bit. Garciaparra tonight is 0 for 3. Ortiz will wait for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. That's a 227. That's going to be against a righty. 227. 227 against the righty. He's going to get skied to center field. Getting under that will be Erstad. He'll make the catch. And I want to see what that result is. So that was a 227. 227's an F8 plus. With less than 2 outs, the runner on third base tags up and scores, but there's no... Okay, so there's no... Actually, there is a runner on third base. So Sanchez will tag up and score. That'll be a sacrifice fly. Sanchez will come in to score, and with that, it will be... It'll be 4-1 Boston. Stadium groans. Ugh. Next batter will be Ramirez. Ramirez is 1 for 3 tonight. Ortiz hoping to get out of this inning without any further damage. He'll wait for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. Oops, that's a 681. We're going to add 15 to that rating. Right, so let's see, 681 plus 15 is going to become a 696, and that's going to turn into a walk. So Ramirez is going to walk. And that will load the bases. And the Angels are going to get the hook for Ramon Ortiz on that one. So let me compile stats real quick for Ortiz. He went 6 2/3, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. 4 runs, all earned. Gave up 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. Struck out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Struck out 8. Didn't hit anybody. None of that. Okay, so Ortiz is out of the game. Coming in to pitch for the Angels now will be Scott Schoenweiss. 9-8 on the season, 65 strikeouts and 17 homers back in 2002. Stepping into the batter's box will be Jason Varitek. Varitek is 0 for 3. You got to figure he's about due. And with the bases full of Red Sox, this would not be a time for Schoenweiss to give anything up. So Schoenweiss will wait for the sign from Molina, and here comes the pitch. That's a 267. That'll come off of Schoenweiss's card against a switch right. 267. Uh-oh. 267. That's deep. That's hit deep to left field. Varitek's got a power of 5. That's it deep to left. Does Varitek get this one out and blow this game wide open for the Red Sox? 5 plus 10, 15. No! Varitek is not going to... That's not going to be deep enough. It'll be deep to left field. Going back to the warning track is Anderson. He'll just barely have room, and he'll haul that in to retire the side. Nothing I could... 1 run, 1 hit, 3 walks, but the Red Sox strand them loaded. And with that, it is 4-1 Red Sox. We're at the 7th inning stretch, and as usual, I won't torture you guys with my rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. But the Angels dodge a bullet on this one, as Martinez will come out for the bottom of the 7th. First batter he'll face will be Brad Fulmer. Fulmer is 1 for 2 with a solo bomb back in the 2nd. Martinez staked to a 4-1 lead. Let's see if he can hold it here. He is tired, though, and he's got a fatigue rating of 1. Martinez will get the sign from Varitek, and here's the pitch. 5:06 means we'll have another rare play. So let's find the rare play chart on here. And we'll re-roll. That's a 590. 590. Batter hits a home run, so he's going to take this one yard, but he's going to miss first base while rounding the bases, and he's out on appeal. Wow. How do you miss first base when you hit a... How do you miss first base when you start trotting around the bases? So what are we going to call that? Put out to the first baseman. That's going to be... We're going to call that a U3 for 1 out. Fulmer goes to trot around the bases after hitting that one out, but he misses first and he's out on appeal when they throw it back over. Angels management is going to be pissed when Fulmer comes back to the dugout. While Fulmer's busy getting read the riot act, we're going to look at Spezio again. Spezio is 0 for 2. Martinez waits for the sign from Veritek after dodging a huge bullet from Fulmer being stupid. And here's the pitch. 134. And Spezio is going to go after a curveball that's on the outside corner. That's just off the plate for out number 2. He'll strike out swinging at that. That will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeout for Martinez today. 2 out in the inning, as the batter now is Orlando Palmeiro. Palmeiro is 0 for 1 with a walk today. 4-1 Red Sox, bottom of the 7th. And Fulmer squandering a chance to hit another bomb. Palmeiro looks in for Martinez from the offering, and here comes the pitch. 580. That's actually going to bring us to 8 is center field. So that'll bring us to Damon's card, 580. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. Damon will get under that with no problem. He'll pull that in. And 1, 2, 3 will go the Angels in the bottom of the 7th. Heading into the top of the 8th, it's 4-1 Red Sox. As we'll have the middle of Boston's order due up next. Schoenweiss finishes his warm-up tosses, as I'm being told in the Angels' dugout that Fulmer is still getting yelled at after that. First batter for the inning for the Red Sox will be Shea Hillenbrand. Hillenbrand is 1 for 3. Schoenweiss gets the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. 620 will bring us to Edison International Field. 620. That's going to be skied to second base. Getting under that one will be Kennedy. He'll pull it in, and that'll be the first out of the inning. As the next batter is going to be the replacement left fielder, Ricky Henderson. 5 homers, 16 RBI on a .223 average in 2002. Schoenweiss looks in at the KG veteran, and here's the pitch. 312. That'll come off of Henderson's card. He's not that cagey. He'll go after a slider out of the zone for the second out of the inning. And that will bring up the first baseman, Tony Clark. Clark is 1 for 3. Schoenweiss gets the sign from Molina. Here's the windup and the pitch. 326. That's going to be another slider working to perfection as Clark goes after that one for a 1-2-3 inning for the Red Sox. Nothing happening there as we go into the bottom of the 8th. Schoenweiss is also now tired because we used him in relief. We're going to start getting some activity in the Boston bullpen as they're going to get the closer ready to go. Trying to find the Boston closer in 2002. Here we go. Boston's going to get Uga Urbina warming up in the Boston bullpen as hopefully Pedro Martinez can can get them there. First batter will be Adam Kennedy. Kennedy's 0 for 2 today. Martinez waits for the sign from Veritek, and here's the pitch. That's a 278 against the lefty, 278. That's going to be a base hit to left field. Kennedy will reach with a leadoff single. Infield will move to double play depth as Molina steps into the batter's box. Molina's 0 for 2. Martinez looks over at Kennedy, who's probably not a threat to do anything. He'll get the sign from Martinez will get the sign from Varitek, and here's the pitch. Martinez is at fatigue level 2. Here's the pitch. That's a 175. That's going to get skied to left field. Getting under that will be Henderson. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. We're also going to get some activity in the... we're not going to get activity in the Anaheim bullpen just yet. But that will be the first out of the inning as David Eckstein will step into the batter's box for the 4th time today. Eckstein is 1 for 3. Infield still at double play depth. Martinez gets the sign from Varitek, and here comes the pitch. 346 will come off of Eckstein's card. 346. That's going to get skied up the chimney over at first base. Getting under that one will be Clark. He'll pull it in for the second out of the inning. The batter now will be Darren Erstad. Erstad is 0 for 3. Martinez gets the sign from Varitek, and here's the pitch. 219, that'll be against the lefty. 219, that's going to be a ground ball to short. Getting to that will be Garciaparra. He'll take the out with Sanchez at second, and that will retire the side. Nothing across for the Angels except for the single. And after 8, the score remains 4-1 Boston. We'll get ready for the top of the 9th now, as Schoenweiss is tired, so we will need to keep an eye on that. But we've got the top of Boston's order due up next. Leading off the top of the 9th for the Red Sox will be Ray Sanchez. Sanchez is 0 for 2 with a walk and a single. Schoenweiss waits for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. 170. Sanchez is going to lead off the inning with a walk. So now Schoenweiss has a fatigue factor of 1. He came in the... Sorry, I'm just working on some notes here. So Schoenweiss came in here. Actually, I think he came in here. All right, the batter now is Damon. Damon is 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. The infield will move to double play depth. Schoenweiss waits for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. Pulling that through is going to be a 262, which will be against the lefty. 262. Uh-oh. That's deep to right field. Damon got a hold of one. Going back to the warning track here is Palmeiro. Will he have room? Damon's got a power of 6. Plus 8, 14. No, he's not going to have room. Actually, I think we said that was deep to left field. So that's going to get skied. Actually, that's Garrett Anderson going after that one. 6, 12, 14. That's going to be skied. That's going to be popped up. Garrett Anderson back almost to the warning track, but he'll have enough room. He'll have enough room to get that one, and that will be the first out of the inning. As Schoenweiss almost gives up a 2-run bomb. Next up is Trot Nixon. Nixon is 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Schoenweiss will wait for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. 127. 127, that's going to be skied to center field. Getting under that one will be Erstad. He'll pull that in. 2 out in the inning. I believe that means the runners advance. With less than 2 out, the runner would tag up and score, but there's no runner on third. Next up is the shortstop, Garciaparra. Garciaparra is 0 for 4. Actually, he's 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Schoenweiss waits for the sign from Molina, and here's the pitch. Pulling dice through. That's a 642 plus 5 is going to be a 647. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Getting over to that's going to be Kennedy. He'll move it over to Eckstein, who's covering second. The shortstop who's covering at second. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3 will go the Red Sox. Nothing happening there. But will we see some ninth inning magic? Pedro Martinez is going to come out of the game. I've already compiled stats for him. He had quite the outing. He's leaving in line for the win. Coming in to pitch for the Red Sox and try to get this game over will be Ugueth Urbina. 3 ERA, 71 strikeouts, and 40 saves on the season in 2002. Let me compile stats for Schoenweiss real quick. He went... I didn't think he came in that early. Maybe he did. Actually, yeah, he came in with 2 outs in the 7th. So he gave up no hits, no runs, none of any of that. Struck out 2. Oh, walked 1, struck out 2. Okay. So now Ugueth Urbina is being charged with the heart of Anaheim's order and getting this game over with. Leading off the bottom of the ninth for the Angels is Tim Salmon. Salmon is 0 for 3. Urbina will look in at Varitek for the sign, and here comes the pitch. That's a 181. 181. Salmon will go after the high heat, and that'll be out number 1, just like that. Next up will be the left fielder, Garrett Anderson. Anderson is 0 for 2 with a walk. Urbina will look in at Varitek for the sign, and here's the pitch. 195, wild pitch, ball 1. We'll do it again. 164. 164, that's going to be a slider that just catches the inside corner. Anderson thought it was inside, but it will be a called strike 3. 2 outs, and I guess the Angels are finally done reading Fulmer the Riot Act because they're going to charge him with trying to keep this game going. Fulmer had the solo homer back in the 2nd. That's when Anaheim's only scoring, but then he blew the homer back in the 7th by missing first base. Urbina hoping to get this game over with a 1-2-3 inning. He'll wait for the sign from Varitek. He'll nod at it, and here comes the pitch. 177. That will be a called strike 3 on the outside corner. That's your game. Urbina strikes out the side, and the Red Sox win this one 4-1. Final line score coming up. For the Red Sox, 4 runs on 7 hits and no errors. For the Angels, 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. Winning pitchers Pedro Martinez with a gem of a start today. Ortiz will take the loss, and Urbina will end up with the save. We're not quite done yet, though, because how did your team fare if they weren't featured tonight? Well, let's go ask the ticker and find out. It's now time to ask the ticker tape how your team did if they weren't featured tonight. The Red Sox are going to get this one away from the Angels 4-1. Let's see how the rest of the majors fared. First up, Blue Jays and the Royals. Once again, we're bringing you this ticker from Fast Score Baseball, using pink dice for the away team, yellow dice for the home. Blue Jays, 1456 is 8. Royals, 952 is 6. That'll be a win for the Bluebirds. White Sox and the Twins. White Sox, 1132 is 4. Twins, 756 is 6. That'll be a win for the Twins. Indians and the Athletics. Indians, 746 is 5. Athletics, 1854 is 8. That's a win for the Athletics. Tigers and the Mariners. Tigers, 264 is 6. Mariners, 1263 is 8. The Mariners will win a shootout. Orioles and the Devil Rays. Orioles, 1012 is 1. Devil Rays, 1116 is 2. That will be a win for the Devil Rays. Yankees and the Rangers. Yankees, 2744. Good grief, that's 9. Rangers, 1245 is 6. That'll be a win for the Yankees. Brewers and the Braves. Brewers, 443 is 3. Braves, 1422 is also 3. They will have extras. Milwaukee rolls a 3. Minus 3 is 0. Atlanta rolls a 6. Plus 1 is 7. That will be a win for the Braves. Padres and the Cubs. Padres, 524 is 2. Cubs, 1334 is 5. That will be a win for the Cubs. Dodgers and the Reds. Dodgers, 1345 is 6. Reds, 815 is 2. That's a win for the Dodgers. Cardinals and the Marlins. Cardinals, 1045 is 5. Marlins, 451 is 4. That's a win for the Redbirds. Diamondbacks and the Expos. Diamondbacks, 1156 is 7. Expos, 11... Actually, Diamondbacks were 1132. 1132 is 4. Expos, 1156 is 7. That's a win for the Expos. Astros and the Mets. Astros, 1046 is 5. Mets, 1225 is 4. That will be a win for the Astros. Giants and the Phillies. Giants, 1112 is 1. Phillies, 526 is 2. That will be a win for the Phillies. Last up, Rockies and the Pirates. Rockies, 1314 is 2. Pirates, 1352 is 7. That's a win for the Pirates. And that will do it for this ticker tape test and this playthrough of Season Ticket Baseball. Tomorrow we're playing the Plum Island Horror from GMT Games. Wednesday next week we're going to have our first racing game as we play Heat, Pedal to the Metal. As for Mystical Munchies next week, we're going to be making the last recipe out of the official Halo cookbook with the drink as we make some hot chocolate. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.